I was chasing back at school, jumping in the pool, drop myself off, feeling myself. Damn, I really got close to killing myself. What is success? Is it the money or the power? Or is it the pounds you pushing off that powder? Cowards will do what they do, they will cower. If they can't walk the talk, they talk it louder. So I'm stumbling, two-step hustling in a busy world with the anger and the bustling. Dollars while I bust them in, never have enough. Haters on my grind, up these fakers call my bluff. Creeping on a sidewalk, stepping on the devil's grave, feeling like a cyborg. Liquor wouldn't get me faded, feeling snake eyes imprinted on my back. Haters whisper lies, hoping I'll derail the track. Not stop, never thought, never will. Red eyes on the prize while I always pay the bill. Fuck, I miss the old days, running from the cops' place, ducking in the cup, boys. Get your fucking knees grazed. Ducking in the cup, boys. Get your fucking fists raised. I'm a piece of shit and I'm proud of it. Rolling down your street, you can bet I'm out of it. I'm a piece of shit and I'm proud of it. Rolling down your street, you can bet I'm out of it. I'm a piece of shit and I'm proud of it. Rolling down your street, you can bet I'm out of it. I'm a piece of shit and I'm proud of it. Rolling down your street, you can bet I'm out of it.
Mama said take your time when we're falling in love. In your eyes, how you know when they're the one, but can't see things clearly when the lights go out. Said fool for love, we start fooling around. It don't matter if it's black or white. Color of love seems to blind our eyes. Falling for every single line, almost like I've been hypnotized. Feels so good, yeah, it don't seem right. Playing Sunday, I can see the light. Open up as I'm coming inside. Somebody please rescue me. Rescue me. 'Cause this love's an addiction sticking to me. Rescue me. Rescue me. 'Cause we get what we want, but not what we need. Moving forward, we're one step back, almost like we don't see the fact. Lies kissing and wishing we're fine. People say we're just wasting our time. You go your way, I go mine. Something's missing, need to rewind. Lost in moments, lost in time. Somebody needs to open our eyes. Matter of fact, I can't act like I'm not to blame in this game we find. Playing while we're both losing our minds. Craving your touch and healing mine. Maybe someday things will be right. Till that day I'm gonna find myself hoping and praying that somebody can please rescue me. Rescue me. 'Cause this love is an addiction sticking to me. Rescue me. Rescue me. 'Cause we get what we want, but not what we need. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah, I got it working. All right, how we going, champions? What is going on tonight? We've got a very special one. Fresh artist just to be put on the Jimna lineup. It's going to be a very, very, very good chat tonight. Tonight we have on Ari. Ari, say hello. Oh, we are so amazing. It is so good to see you on tonight.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No, it's a pleasure to have you. So, tell us a bit about yourself, Ari. You've just got thrown onto the bill. Tell us a bit about yourself.
So, I'm a singer and I have been performing with a band previously over the last few months, but I have now gone solo. I have also been jamming with a number of my friends for the last kind of few months to a year, and I am going to be showcasing that at Jimna Rocks.
Well, that's exactly right. We were fortunate enough to see you on the show with Johan the other night.
Yeah,
that was a really good opener.
Oh, thank you.
That was fantastic.
It was unexpected, but so much fun.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. How you going, Kaz? What's happening? Kaz said hello in the chat.
Oh, beautiful. There's a chat going too.
Yes, there is. I'll try and share that with you. I don't know why I didn't before. I'm just going to share this real quick. That one. There we go. All right, you should be able to see that now.
Cool.
There we go.
Thank you.
Perfect. Sorry about that. But yeah. So, you said you're a singer.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, we don't have anything released from you yet.
That's true.
But tell us what kind of stuff you sing. Tell the stream what kind of stuff you sing.
So, I do mainly a 60s style, but I then also mix it in with modern hits with a bit of a rockabilly edge. But then I also like to put my own spin on it too. I'm a big fan of the bluesy, rootsy style music too. And so I try to kind of incorporate it all into one big mesh. And yeah, just I guess with my own stamp on it.
That's good. That's good. I mean, well, at the end of the day, all music's been done, so
yeah.
There's only so many scales. There's only so much you can do on an instrument. So revamping old stuff and making it new again, it's just as good as bringing out new stuff. People do it all the time.
Absolutely.
I mean, DJs make a living off it.
Definitely. And it's funny how there's so many tracks that are coming out now that people are only just coming across, but it's revamped versions of tracks that came out often, anywhere ranging from the 20s to especially 50s and 60s and onwards.
Oh, mate, 100%. That is so true. I mean, yeah. Come on. What's something recent? What's something recently that you could name off the top of your head that we might have heard that?
So, for example, the track Beggin', Måneskin just released their own version of it, which was an excellent version. I absolutely loved it. But then I was even shocked to realise that it was originally done, I believe, by Frankie Valli. And so that was decades ago. But then Måneskin's gone through, covered it, and just kind of brought it to life again. And it's connecting with so many people.
There you go. Perfect. See? Happens all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. The chat's going. We got so MMK has said, "Hi Ari, get her to sing something."
Oh, bless.
And then we got
said Ari for president.
Yeah, Ari for president. There you go.
I'm liking the chat so far.
We need to disassemble the monarchy there first, mate, and then we can have a president. I'll take prime minister.
Yeah. I'm like, look, I would settle for mayor of somewhere, but I'm like, yeah, president.
You're being asked to sing something. MNK Promotions is asking you to sing something.
Beautiful. Okay.
All right.
Maybe I'll sing a track from my set list that I'll be performing at Jimna. I'll just sing a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, I am looking for freedom. I'm looking for freedom. Oh, oh, oh. And to find me cost me everything I had.
Oh, damn.
I also do, um, I do a number of different styles, but I also have a big love of the song Dream a Little Dream, more along the style of, say, stars fading, but I linger on, dear, still craving your kiss. I'm longing to linger till dawn, dear, just saying this.
I love that 50s style big band stuff, or like even just like that simple piano stuff, in a nice lounge sipping on a martini.
Absolutely.
Oh, you can
Obviously,
sing. You can really sing. Wow.
what was that?
I
Sorry.
said you can really sing. Like, where have you been trained, or how did you end up? Tell us your story. How have you ended up doing this now?
Thank you. It's been a long time coming. I loved singing ever since I was a kid. I started singing lessons when I was 7 years old, and then I trained with a singing teacher for a number of years. Guy Sebastian's wife, Jules Egan, actually was one of my first few singing teachers,
Wow.
which was really lovely. And yeah, I learnt at a mainly acting school in Adelaide, and then went and competed over in the US when I finished high school in Nevada. And then when I moved back to Australia, I started doing gigs in Townsville, and then took about a decade long break. And during that decade, like probably towards the later years, um, I was still practicing and doing music behind the scenes, but I wasn't putting myself out there in the public eye. And it wasn't until I moved to Brisbane that I started to pursue it again, and
Wow.
you know really felt my love for it come forth enough to overcome all of the fear and anxiety that had stopped me from doing it for so long.
Fear and anxiety. Two
Yeah,
of the big ones in this world that really can put a lot of people off, and it's hard to put yourself out there, especially with art. Like it's a big deal. Like especially being a singer. I don't think
yeah,
people really understand what it's like to be a soul like that, especially when you're fronting a band or even fronting something small. It's a big thing. It's a big thing.
absolutely. It still terrifies me, but I think the difference is now my love for music has come to the surface so much again that I'm then able to push past those fears. But I think it is hard when nerves show in your voice, so it's hard to kind of combat that. But at the same time, I feel so alive when I'm singing and performing, and I don't get that feeling in any other part of life. So it's enough to draw you forward to face your fears.
100% it is. I can't wait to see you at Jimna.
Thank
I'll
you.
give you a piece of advice though. If you're really that worried, two shots of Jack and just walk up with a beer,
Yeah,
and you'll be fine.
yeah,
You'll be
that's
fine.
exactly it.
All right, you'll be fine. You can afford to be a little bit tipsy just to get through that first. Have you played any shows before? Is this like your first?
So I used to do gigs back when I was 17, 18 in Townsville. And then I did a few shows with a band called the Oztones. They used to work with Christopher Domin. They're this excellent rockabilly roots Americana band. And so I did shows with them. And this is going to be my first time performing at anything big in a duo,
Oh,
which
wow.
will be really excellent.
It is going to be excellent. Jeez Louise. It's been a bit while between drinks for shows then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
Yeah, there was a really big break in between, and then it's just been in the last year that I've actually been putting myself out there.
Because I'm pretty sure there was a story from Friday night or Saturday night from Johan that you went to the last Jimna.
Yeah.
And that's how you sort of got in contact with, or that's how you met up with Johan, and he was sort of the one to instigate maybe you getting back into the live scene again.
Yeah, so he was a really big key part in it. The story actually started a little bit before Jimna, where at the end of 2020, when I moved up to Brisbane, I had been down at Enoggera Reservoir, and I happened to meet someone called Ravi, who's the frontman for Ravindra, and basically just got chatting, and he said that he was a producer and a musician, and I said, excellent, basically I can sing, let me know if you want someone for any tracks. And he invited me along to his housewarming party in, I think it was about February of 2021 last year, where I met a number of other musicians, and he prompted me to get up on stage. And it was that night that I kind of sunk into it and realized truly how much I missed it and how much I needed to make it a priority to get myself out there. But I was still really terrified and making a lot of excuses. So he was the one that told me about Jimna and encouraged me to come along. And that's when I met Johan, and Johan gave me the talking to and said, what are you doing? You're a singer, you're an artist, you should be putting yourself out there. And it was actually, I think, just a little bit before Jimna that I had met the Oztones as well. And there were a few things kind of in the works, but it was this big push that I needed, and encouragement to actually start properly putting myself out there again and go for it. So by the time the Oztones said that they wanted to have me audition, then I kind of had that support and encouragement that I had really been missing and needing, and was at a point where I was ready to do it.
Wow.
It was Jimna last year that inspired me so much. It was also where I met Brad from the Wayward Sons, and Ryan, who's in Dreams of Indigo, and Richard Neal, and I think it's the Midnight Project or Midnight Choir.
No, the Drunken Midnight Choir.
The Drunken Midnight Choir.
I had Richard Neal's a cool dude. I had him on. His sound is a pound, that guy.
Yeah, and he's in Johan's band as well.
Yeah, he was saying that.
Yeah, so basically meeting and connecting with them and getting the encouragement from a lot of different people just made the world of difference and was exactly what I needed. So Jimna last year really changed my life.
Wow, and now look at this a year later.
Yeah.
And you're on the bill chair. Look at that. That's excellent. That's fantastic. That's such a good story from just good to see that you got that encouragement from all the people up there, from people like, oh, Johan's just a generally encouraging person. If he can see something that someone's not doing, he's definitely the top person to steer you in the right direction or push your ass into getting the gear and to do it.
Oh, absolutely. And meeting Karen from MMK was just such a beautiful thing, and she's such a great person and has made such a big difference for me. And so then her putting me on the bill and, prompting me down this different avenue has just been an absolute blessing.
Every single person says that about Karen. I love that. She's such a... I'm hoping Jimna never stops and this becomes her legacy, because she's done some awesome work on this thing. It's really good. Hello? Yeah, we're live.
You a little bit. Some ears were ringing.
Cass! Oh!
I know you said that you'd wanted to get her on.
Wow! Karen! Damn! Oh, it's so good to finally meet you properly. This is we've spoken on Messenger chat and stuff like that, but this is like our first official meeting. How you going?
It is. Yeah, I'm going well.
Oh, this is fantastic. This is your legacy, Dale. This is your legacy, mate.
Yeah, cheers.
Oh, I'm sorry about the waters. Cheers. Oh.
Yeah. We've got our Jimna Rocks and MMK.
That's so awesome. I'm getting all mine. I'm going to come home with all new stuff. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to come with a wallet full of cash, and I'm going to leave with a bag full of stuff. It's going to be hectic.
You're going to have a good time.
Yeah, well, mate, it's an opportunity for me to see my old guitarist. So he's the one that's coming on one of them, and then the other one's my old bass player. So, mate, we're ready.
You're ready to go.
Oh, mate, they're filming, so everyone's going to have their phones out. We're going to be talking to heaps of people. It's going to be awesome. We're going to really try and make. I'm going to try and make a mad video for it to promote next year.
Yeah,
Next year, exactly.
Next year.
It will be a long running thing. I think Karen's mind is getting through this year first,
Yeah.
but it's going to be a long time.
Huge.
Now that I've got you on, so I saw the video that you sent me today, and so you said that this was sort of a work around COVID to keep the scene relevant.
Yeah,
Considering
we had to
shows
do
got yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we were restricted in so many ways in the venues. And I'd always wanted to run a festival. And it started off as just a small little bit of a birthday shindig at a friend's place, and it just grew from there. So Jimna 2021 happened. And I thought, well, you know, I needed a birthday party, and I like camping, I like live music. And I've got so many awesome friends that I thought, well, let's just put it all together. And there had to be a bonfire as well.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to do it, I've got to be bloody enjoying it for me. Because it's all about me.
Yes.
But 21 was just an amazing time. I mean, Ari was serving burgers in 21.
Yeah,
And
launching the Holy Grail.
yeah, and then next thing you know, I'm filming and she's in the mosh and having the best time of her life, singing at the top of her lungs. And then I never saw her again for 12 months.
Oh, I think it was the Father's Day gig.
Oh, I had a Father's Day gig. Johan had played and he dragged
Yeah.
her on stage.
Wow.
Yeah, but
So-
aside from that,
Jim is all about getting people together, and even if they only see each other every 12 months, that we're all connected through the music.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're living in shit times. You've only just got to watch the TV. And I don't know about you, but it really affects me what's going on around the world. And the only way to escape that is through music and with whatever you listen to. And, you know, whether you're thrashing your head to some metal or you're just rocking out some good rock or you're chilling out to a bit of John Butler Trio, you know. So the thing is, music's going to help us through all this shit. And if I can throw a festival, why not?
Oh, mate, you, the impact you've had on the scene is just unbelievable. Like, everyone I've spoken to has nothing but the greatest of respect for you. The amount of work that you put in, the amount of time and effort that it takes. Like, just speaking to you lately, it's just been life-changing for me in a sense, you know, because what you've done actually for me as well, and I'm all the way in Sydney, and you've made an impact on my life, so thank you.
You're very welcome.
You know, like, and it's an absolute pleasure to be able to do this gymnast stuff. Like, you know, it's awesome just to see someone out there that still has the dedication and the drive and can see potential and knows her shit about music. Like, my God, the bands you have on under your promotions label.
Oh, no, I just booked them to play because I like them. I told you, it's all about me.
But that's, well, you have very good taste.
Yeah, my taste is quite eclectic. I mean, I was running a lot of metal for a while, but I'm not as angry now. So I've sort of slipped back into the rock. And I mean, rock for me was my staple growing up. I mean, I'm a 60s child. And by the 70s, I had an uncle 9 years older that was playing all the latest stuff. So I had quite, you know, I could get into his collection with his headphones and lay on his bed and just listen to Uriah Heep and Cat Stevens and whatever else he had going at the time, Deep Purple and Black Sabbath.
So you're just from way back, like you've just lived you've just lived it and breathed it ever since it was sort of a thing.
Yeah, it's changed a lot though. I mean, it's not what it was like.
No, it's a technology moves. I think that's a purely technology thing though.
Yeah, most definitely. But technology helps us get it out there more as well. So I mean, it's sort of a double-edged sword.
It is. You just have to work it, and you've done a really good job.
Oh man, it'd only be a crazy woman that could do it.
I've just been getting a glimpse recently into it, and call me impressed as an understatement.
Ari kindly came on board when I screamed for help, and
that's
came along
fantastic.
and helped me with some admin stuff because I was just over typing and I was overlooking at the screen. And I just needed some time out, and
Just
said,
to
"This
breathe."
is what has to be done. Can you do this?" And yeah.
I don't know how she does it, honestly.
Dedication and love. And I mean, it's just like, as much as you say, you can turn around and you can say to me that, "Oh, do it because, you know what, it's all about me." You say that, but that's not true. I know it's not true. You know it's not true
There's
because
a lot of love for a lot.
100%. Like, just the community that you've built up
But
is just
Some of them.
Well, they don't call you. They don't call you. They don't call you metal mum for no reason.
Working with musicians is not an easy job.
We're
believe
terrible.
me.
They're terrible. We're terrible people. We're terrible people.
You know, you get your good and your bad and your ups and your downs and your egos. And I guess I'm just too old and cranky these days. I just can't deal with that shit.
Yeah, but you'd rather have someone just to say, listen, here, Sonny Jim, pull your head in, mate. There's been a lot more before you, and there'll be a lot more after you.
Yeah.
So,
Move on.
yeah.
Next, who's next?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, look, at the end of the day, music is just, it's never ending. It's never going anywhere. It's going to last.
So much out there I haven't even touched the surface, but what I have around me is you know, it's doing its thing.
You're doing really well. You're doing really well. I mean, I couldn't thank Zach enough for everything, and, you know, like what you've done for Skunkbone, and I can't wait to catch up with them boys on the bill.
Years ago, I ran him in 2014 at Intrapilly Hotel at Vibe, where I used to run gigs, and he came up with acid nymph, and he had dreadlocks then, I think, and he was wearing these black and white striped pants.
He still wears it. I love it.
And NXS wearing when I saw them live, and he so he stuck out, and I took photos, so I remembered them. I mean, they were blurry photos like most of mine. I'm a shit photographer, but I do what I can.
You're doing it on the move a lot of the time. I remember at Jimna last year, whenever I'd look over, Karen would be there getting these photos, you know,
Footage.
at like footage at like this angle, you know, you're going for it. Like,
I love filming bands.
yeah.
You know, I won't deny that. I really do love capturing it and coming back and looking at it later on. And so,
Yeah.
like Jimna, last year, I didn't get to see any of the footage till 2 weeks ago.
Oh, what?
I was too
Busy
busy.
bee.
Oh,
I
ooh.
went straight into gigs after Jimna, and I was working, and the life gets in the way. And you know, so it wasn't until a couple of weeks ago I actually got to see some GoPro footage that had been taken, and then that sort of enticed me to go in to have a look at what I'd captured, and there was some really great stuff, but I just haven't had time to get out there. Excuse me.
What are you guys drinking? I can see everyone drinking. I'm on the shitty waters because I have to work tomorrow. But yeah, what are y'all drinking?
Bird.
She's on her old favourite, Wild Turkey.
The turkeys.
And I am drinking wild beer. I've never had it before tonight, but I'm
beer.
gluten intolerant, and so I'm limited in my beer choices. Normally it's just Sol or Corona, but tonight it's wild beer, which is actually really tasty.
And that's a collector's item, the Jimna 2021 stubby cooler.
Limited edition.
Very limited edition. Jeez Louise.
So I'm trying to check the bank account to see if I can get another 50 limited edition.
Oh yeah, I'll buy one. I'll buy two. We'll all buy one.
I know they'll sell. It's just getting the money.
Yeah, I know. Money sucks, man. It's so awesome, but geez, it's hard to get. It's hard to get lots of it.
It sucks. It is great, but we just need to have more of it.
I'm just trying to put. Okay, so you said you're gluten intolerant.
Yeah.
So there's a craft beer.
Where did he go? It's only
Oh, he's researching beers for
Yeah,
me.
I'm just having a look at something real quick. So,
It's 2 pictures of us. Oh, there he is. Hi.
Yeah.
so they do a beer that I like,
Yeah.
and it's a gluten-free one.
Ooh,
I'm pretty sure they have a gluten-free one.
amazing.
It's very good.
Get the insights.
Is
Yeah.
that got gluten in it?
No.
Oh, no.
This one's, I think, actually, I was really surprised to see it's like official celiac friendly and FODMAP friendly.
Well, there you go.
You don't see that often with beers, which is why it tickled my fancy, and I thought it would be rude not to.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's XPA.
Get some promo up with the headline band for Jimna.
Yeah. Her
Oh
voice
no,
is
it's low calorie. So
Hello.
Is this
it's low
fine?
calorie. Man,
Promo.
I've got to try and get them on. Oh, actually, no. Karen, I need to ask you 1 or 2 quick questions about Jimna.
Quick.
Is there phone reception up there?
Oh, Optus. If you Telstra, you're fucked. No, you can go. You can excuse me. Do you mind?
No, you can say whatever you want. Oh,
You got to go for a
That's
little
good to
walk
know.
if you want Telstra, but Optus. She's
okay. All right, sweet. We'll work it out. I was going to try to. I'll just video it. Oh,
It's, all the stores, like the food stalls, market stalls, all have a little square. So, you know, if you want to buy anything, it's sort of the old.
oh, they can tap it. Cool.
But if you want cash, make sure you come with it in your pocket, or you got to go 35 k's to an ATM.
All right.
Wait, Yeah.
Kilcoy's your nearest convenience for a supermarket, ATM,
Petrol,
fuel.
as we realised, yeah.
Oh, true. Yeah, for us. Yeah, we went up and coming back on tiny little
I
bit.
think there was 11k
11K
left of it.
we had to go before we found the petrol station.
Oh, there's something.
Living dangerously.
Oh, been there, done that. Don't want to do it again. Nah. It's gives you too much anxiety. Run out of petrol.
Come out prepared because it is 35 k's. But last year, seriously, nobody wanted to leave the grounds. I mean, they came in with what they had, and there was plenty of food, plenty of drinks, and everyone had the little tiny squares,
Yeah, nice. And the BYO, is there a case limit?
It is BYO. I don't care how many cases you bring.
Cool. No, just making sure.
Try and support the community.
Yeah.
They're all volunteers from Jimna, and the money goes back into the community to keep their community hall, repaired and up to scratch. And
just make sure they got a case of Young Henry's IPA up there in that tent, and I'll be pumping them. I'll be pumping them.
It's wholesome too because you can.
But I'll give them a shout out because there's Young Henry's. There's Young Henry's sponsoring. There's Cooper's. Yeah. Cooper's Brewery and Jack Daniels.
Yes, Jack Daniels is blackout juice. The boys, my mates will be drinking the blackout juice, the Jack Daniels. I don't touch Jack Daniels no more. It's my blackout juice.
They'll fight me for that, but we'll see how many cartons we have, and we'll go from there.
Oh, sweet. All right.
These are special. They're for special people.
Oh, well, okay.
No, you're special. You can have a JD.
I'll give it to them. I'll just tell them to bring JDs. We'll just probably swing up there with a whole bunch of VBs. That's what we do.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's the thing. We're very lucky. It is BYO, and we do have that license at the cricket club. So, people can sit up there and overlook the grounds where everyone's camping and see the stage.
It's gorgeous.
It's not belting loud. It's not like you're in a stadium.
That's good. I'll get some good shots up there at the campgrounds then.
Our decibels are kept at where they should be, but it's loud enough when you're around the stage area, which is about 30 metres back from the stage, and it's great, but you can just hear it when you're up at the cricket club, and it's great. Noise is kept at a level because we're in a small town.
Yeah. No, that's good. Look, it doesn't need to be unnecessarily.
Shout out to my soundy too, Mr. Cat.
Yeah.
Ex-Maniacs Sound and Lighting.
I can't wait to see the setup. Oh, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Back to grassroots.
Yeah. I've got good people behind me, and I mean, Kev's a great sounding. He's a great production guy. Great lighting. Last year was magic.
Yeah.
He works like a Trojan. He put a lot of hours in for very little last year, but we got the event off the ground, and from here it's just an annual thing. Why wouldn't I do it? There's so much young talent out there that needs to be exposed.
Oh, and you know what? I'll be doing.
Young talent, but people like Ari that I've come across, and she starts singing in my lounge, and I'm like, why wouldn't I put her on a Jimna lineup?
That's awesome. There's such a the stories and just the stories you can tell. You've not led a dull life. And did I see that you became a grandmother recently?
Yeah, twice over.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Yeah, Vincent's 2 and Violet, I think it's around 9 months.
And all the Karen, most of the Karen children are in the music scene in one way or another, aren't they?
I got 4 of them, and one's been on hiatus for a while. He's a drummer with Dark Cell, and then we've got Lockie, who was in a couple of bands, but now he's doing his own thing as Bruce Lavish, bit of hip hop. And I got one that's sane. He's not in the music scene, and works in hotels, so I'm not sure about that. He manages an Accord down in Melbourne, and then the 4th one is he's studying events, so hopefully he'll take it all over. But Geordie has his own little thing going on. He writes his own music and lyrics, and
that's fantastic.
Online. Yeah,
that's really good. You've led such an amazing life, and this is this. I hope this never. I will be there every year.
It better bloody be. I'm going to need somebody to do the filming and talking to the band.
Yeah, no. Well, as long as you do, it's going to look very unprofessional, but all phones film in 4K, 60 frames a second. They're going to look beautiful.
I've got a gimbal.
Yeah. All I've got is a selfie stick.
Yeah, no.
and an easel.
I'm drunk on the JDs, and I'll still have footage that's just.
Yeah, nah, good stuff. Cool. This is going to be hectic. It's going to be so good.
Yeah. It's a party.
What would you say? Oh, geez, man. You guys are sneaky. Oh,
Yeah, we were plotting this.
so just to tell the stream, I got a message from Karen today going, "When are you doing your next gymnast thing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm doing one now." She's like, "Where's the link?" So I shot her the link, and then
Hurry up.
yeah,
I
jeez.
find the link on your pages. Why is there no links to this?
I put links up. I put links up today. I'm sucky at the internet. I need a producer, and I need a social media manager.
It was
Yeah,
cracking
so
me
do
up
I.
because I knew that Karen was on the veranda and he said, "Oh, Karen's just messaged." I'm like, "Oh, funny that. Oh,
Sneaky, and you held it together very well, Ari.
thank you."
Very sneaky. Very sneaky.
Yeah, practice.
Oh, who you play? Who? So you got Richard Neal. Who are you playing with? Who's your duo? Is it just Johan or?
So I'm very excited because basically when Karen asked me if I'd like to do a set, I thought about how I would like to do it. And I decided that I would like to do my set in a bit of an ode to some of the people that have been, big catalysts for me in prompting me to be putting myself back
Thank
out
God
there
you didn't
again.
ask me to sing.
Oh, look, I think you could handle the shaky stick pretty well.
Enough JDs and we'll put you on the headline. Get the headline spot, Kaz. Do it.
Shaking stick.
So I then went to a few of the people around me. I'd been thinking that I would perform at first with my keyboard, but then I thought, yeah, I would like to go through and perform with people that have meant a lot to me and made a big impact on my life. And so I'm going to be performing a few songs with Ravi, who's in Ravindra. And then I'm going to be performing a few songs with Johan, potentially as well an original that we've got in the works. And which, both of them just were such big parts of things for me. And I really love them both as people. So I'm really excited for that. And then I'm also going to be performing with my boyfriend, Rob Zakali, who goes by the artist name One Lay. So it's going to be 3 duos in my set and a bit of a blend of styles so that then I can showcase a lot of different elements as to, what I feel make me, an artist. And things that are, a lot of different styles influence me. And I don't like when I have to kind of just stick to one style. So I thought, well, why don't I put them all together and, use this opportunity where everyone's going to be in the same place at the same time to showcase all of the different styles with the people that mean so much to me.
Ah, it's going to be so good. I'm so keen. Kaz, you having a good time?
Oh, mate.
This must be a bit different. This must be a bit different.
Yeah, well, it's not usually my thing, but when Ari came round, I was speaking to her and she said she was absolutely shitting bricks about tonight.
Oh, why?
And I was just, she was nervous.
Never.
mate. She was nervous. And I said, oh, come round to mine. And I said, set it all up, have a couple of drinks, and then I'll just come bursting in on it after he's asked you a few questions about yourself. And that'll be a nice surprise for Kyle.
Oh, it is a beautiful surprise. So good. I'll be so keen.
I watched Johan's at midnight the other week and with Ari.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could be nervous.
The first 2 songs, mind you, and the sound was killing me. But anyway,
He has he just got a beautiful microphone. And he's,
full room, all that sound and everything.
oh, it's just the phone. The phones can only compress so much.
Oh, yeah.
They suck.
We didn't realise what it sounded like at the
But
time.
it was a great
were
interview.
It was all right.
Yeah, it was a great interview. And you were saying to them then, I'd love to get Karen on. And I thought, yeah, good luck with that.
I told you I'd get my way one way or another.
It worked well when we were messaging, because I think it's a fear I think that we both share of potentially being a little bit silly in what we say, and so we thought, why not just put the 2 of us in together and see what we come up with.
If she starts going on, I'll just give her a
And just
whack.
we can nudge
Yes.
each other.
Kick her.
Well, the whole point is to go on. Like, that's the whole thing, Don't say what you want, say what you feel. It's only going to be on the internet forever. And if you really hate it that much, I suppose I could take it down.
Exactly.
But I can't believe, because when I saw you with Johan, Ari, I was just blown away. Like, I thought,
Yeah, me too. I knew, I thought you were going down the day before.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I did. I just I stayed for a few days.
Ari was a poster delivery girl to the Gold Coast for me to get a few bands posters. And yeah, it was good to see you join him. I knew you would.
Yeah. Oh no, and because Johan's just been such a beautiful addition to my life, and it's been I've gone down and done trips at different times, and so it was really fun. It just kind of worked out where that day I joined in with jamming, and then we just kind of carried it through.
He's my nephew.
Yeah, but his story for Jimna is just amazing as well. I mean,
oh man, that was so funny how that came about, and because I first met Johan when I was told that Katie from Dreams of Indigo, amazing Katie Mead, I love you, Katie. She plays saxophone in Wayward Sons, and she's the drummer in Dreams of Indigo, and she's an integral part of that Gold Coast, Northern New South Wales scene. Katie's such a great musician. And she said to me that she was bringing up this guy, could he get in as a volunteer? And I was like, yeah, no worries. So he rocked up and he just come bounding at me, hi, I'm Johan, and his accent. And I was like, I got nothing really for you to do. Just go have fun.
We were having fun, jamming around the campfire on the.
So yeah, that's what he did. And I mean, when it happened that I had a band that I had a gap on the lineup. And I said to Brad from the Wayward Sons, oh, damn, I need someone. I was thinking of putting Brad up there to sing, and he knew who. And he said, oh, my mate Johan can sing. We'll just give him a guitar and he'll get up there. And I was like, can he fill in this much time? Yeah, no worries. And that's exactly what he did. And he ended up with Jesse from Wayward Sons on guitar and Ryan from Dreams of Indigo on bass, and Sonny from Wayward Sons on drums. And Johan just running around barefoot, jumping around, knees up near his ears, playing guitar and singing, and just putting out so much energy that he couldn't even talk that night. He completely lost his voice. He put 100% in, didn't he?
True performer he is. He's definitely a true performer.
Oh, it was a brilliant show. And I think he touched so many people, not just myself, but a lot of people. And how could I not get him back? Like he came into my life then, and that was it. Like you make those connections and you just know they're forever. And he's one of those people. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so. Oh, I love it. I love hearing stories like that. It's just so. It's like you said before. There's so much shit going on in the world. It's so nice to hear stories like that. If you, and I think I said this on Friday, that if you don't look so far outside of the world and you just look in your own backyard, the world isn't actually. It's bad in a sense, but like in the small community, it's really, if you talk to your neighbour, it's not as bad as what you think it is.
Yeah, I don't talk to my neighbours.
No, but you know what I mean. Your community,
Tribe. If you can get your tribe together and everyone's together and you're vibing off each other, and if you all have a common interest and know that you can share that with other people and share that energy with other people. I mean, the energy of kicking back on a Sunday afternoon, listening to a bit of blues-based rock, and then by that night you're thrashing out to a band like Crave. I mean, who bring it hard, and all really talented bands on this lineup. I mean, both days are pretty jam-packed, and I think even people that haven't been in the scene that are coming along and love live music, they're going to be blown away by what they see at Jimna.
And especially the community that comes along with it.
Oh yeah, I mean, last year I was so overwhelmed. There was just so much love at Jimna. It was so much more than a festival. It was more like a gathering of people that were just so happy to be out and away from COVID and not thinking COVID, and then be chilling with their mates and listening to some live music that they hadn't seen before, having a few drinks, hitting up a food van for some, Mexican, and just chilling. And it was just so good to look around and see so many people that night had their little tent cities going on with their little fire pits and people congregating and people walking from campfire to tent city, like to the next tent, and just making friends. And that's what was so special about Jimna.
Oh, I love it. I'm going to ask you a very hard question in a second, Karen.
Oh God, please no.
Nah, I'm going to do it. But I just want to ask Ari something. So you told me that you listen to, like, obviously you got a 50 style sort of voice going on. You listen to a lot of different music. What is a typical week of listening for you?
So I listen to such a range. I'm a big fan that I guess, yeah, sorry, that's a good question. So I'm a big fan of all of the old school music. The Beatles have had a big influence on me, and I listen to a lot of the more so rockabilly style, a lot of the 60s music, but then I'll also listen to the hits that are out now, but then also electronic music. I then really enjoy, I guess the heaviest I go is probably like System of a Down.
That's still pretty heavy. That's like, it's still pretty heavy.
Yeah, and I adore them.
I haven't got to it yet with the metal.
Yeah. Oh, look, like I've kind of dipped into different elements. But I like a lot of electronic music. I then also listen to a lot of meditation music or then just drum music. And yeah, I also love indie, folk. I kind of go through an entire range and blend it all in. Glass Animals are a big influence for me, probably more so in their songwriting, but I love their wacky sounds too. That's something I like to incorporate in more.
That's good. It's good to have music. It's a buffet. You can't really, it's a shame when people turn around and say, I only listen to this, because you're just missing out on so much more. And it's like, do you go to the restaurant you go to all the time, or do you go to the buffet and have a bit of a taste of everything?
That's exactly it. And I also try to listen to new music regularly so that I'm experiencing different styles. I often ask my friends what they've been listening to and try to kind of see a range of, what's out there, what everyone's listening to at different points in their life, especially depending on what different phases they're kind of going through. And I like to take bits and pieces from all of the different styles that I like, instead of just having to stick with one style and I guess limit myself a bit more.
That will make your set list very interesting.
Yeah.
No, because you said you did some covers and stuff as well, and you like to really throw your own elements on there. I'm very interested to see your renditions of some covers.
Absolutely.
Me too.
Yeah. I feel like it's nice to be able to honor the artist and take little elements of their own hints that they will put on. Especially, I'm a big fan of Billie Eilish, and so I like the little touches that she puts on a lot of her tracks. But then, I like to switch it up just in different parts and kind of make it my own still, but then honouring them at the same time.
Well, it's better than doing karaoke.
Exactly.
Because that's essentially what you're not doing. You're not doing karaoke. If you can take it and go, I like this, but it'll sound better if you did it like this, or I think it would sound better. So that's a really interesting. I'm really interested to see what you do with some covers.
She's got a great voice.
She does. She has a fantastic voice. She has an absolutely fantastic voice, and I love that lounge. I guess what is it? That lounge style singing? I don't know. Is that what they call it? The old.
I think the way that I picture it is almost like me in a velvet dress in a piano bar.
Yes.
Where everyone's kind of on lounges or things.
Everyone's smoking. Everyone can smoke indoors still, and.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Everyone's all the men are wearing snappy suits.
Yeah. So I like to incorporate that, but then also have it be rock. But then, a bit of the indie folk and also, I guess, a bit more of that dreamy feel in certain elements too.
Bad. I'm so keen to hear it.
It's sassy, a bit like Amy Winehouse.
Yeah, I'd say. Well, that's a reg.
Yeah.
we
I love Amy Winehouse.
See, my wife loves all that sort of that old school. So I can't wait to see what you release and show her, because she'd be very interested.
Thank you. I think the things I'll be doing with, or at least the original stuff, or the things that I sing with Johan and his band, will be a bit more of that reggae style.
Ooh.
But I feel like that's a bit more like his flavour, being incorporated in as well.
Well, that's when you work together. It's not him you've written the song together and you've collaborated together on it.
She's on the bottle caps.
What does that mean?
She's on the bottle caps.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And with Ravi, it'll be a bit more of a grungy feel to it.
Okay.
So I like
Very
the
dark grunge.
yeah, a bit of a punky feel to it too.
Oh,
So
cool.
I'm kind of leaning into that with incorporating in their styles and mine.
Oh, sweet. I love mashups like that. Karen,
Yes.
now, you got 26 bands on this lineup.
Yep.
You got 26. Now, I'm going to do what every child should never ask their parent to do.
Oh.
Pick the favourite.
Yeah.
Depends with my kids whether they're good from 1 week to the next day, but they're all my favourites. I couldn't pick any of them.
No, just give me five of the real sort of like. So you know me, like I'm a metalhead. I like my big, fast, real high energy sort of sets.
Yeah,
what would be the 5?
Crave, most definitely.
I knew you were going to say Crave.
I managed them.
You're like,
I'm good. I mean, I love Crave.
They are awesome.
We had the best time on tour. The Wayward Sons I've loved for a long time. I saw them many years ago, probably, 2015 at the zoo. And I was there on my own. I was pretty shy, but I went up and just said to Brad, oh my God, you're amazing. And I run out of a small pub in Nunda, and I would never put you on that stage. But as soon as I get a stage that I can, come and play for me. And that sort of happened. And yeah, I love those guys. Calidad were, gosh, they just came out of nowhere, but I love what they do. I love Spanish acoustic. I love tribal drums. I love that they're painted up, because when I first saw Calidad online, I thought the painted faces, I immediately thought they were metal, and I hadn't really gone and listened to their stuff because I'd always been busy, and they reminded me of my son's band Dark Cell with the painted faces. So I just sort of hadn't gone that way. And when I saw what they did, they were just like, oh, hello. Thank you, universe. How many have I done? 3. They're the top 3. It's really hard to pick, because they're all such different genres, and I listen to them at all different points. I mean, I love my pop punk. I love Skunk Bones' album.
That was fantastic.
It's amazing. I mean, I really love what they've done. I was right into Corey's band when I ran them, and I was also, Acid Nymph was a little bit different, but how could you not take Zach on board and listen to
that was something else. Acid Nymph, we love playing with those people.
Yeah. Look, I'm excited for the Sunday Sesh Boys from the Gold Coast. They're young and up and coming. They've got that bit of a skater, surfer, punk.
I check them out. They're legit.
Attitude. They're really cool. They mash a lot of stuff together as well. They're a bit punky. They're a bit rock. They're a bit hip hop. The lead singer's dressed in a tracksuit, and what's that thing? Eshays?
yeah.
Eshay, bro. Oh, I can't keep up with it. For a band that guitar skill, I think Tane Joso has something different. I think it appeals to my Led Zeppelin Tool type love of music. Tane Joso are a very good band. I love my Johan. I mean, I love his style of stuff, and Dreams of Indigo.
Oh, this is going to be an awesome weekend, Karen.
It's going to be awesome. I mean, there's so many on there. I mean, Goldie Hawn. Oh, first time I saw Goldie Hawn years ago, they were supporting my son's band at the Flying Cock, and I walked in, and my son just said to me, like, check this, because he knew my love of that sort of music, that blues-based rock that was a bit heavier. And I was just like blown away by Goldie Hawn, and I've booked them ever since. And they said to me the other day, it's sort of been like, I don't know when I saw them, early 2014, 15, but I'm the only person that's ever booked them in Brisbane. And I get them for a lot of gigs. I love what they do. Jedi Bose is an amazing musician and has the most amazing dreadlocks. So, I think that's my pick. Sorry if I missed anybody.
No, that's why it was the hard question. I told you I was going to ask you a hard one.
I mean, I love them all. I'm running a few.
Oh, why wouldn't you put them on if you didn't like them? It's your birthday bash after all.
Well, that's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. Some of them have just come into my life through somebody else, and I thought, yeah, why not? Because someone's dropped off the lineup, and I'm just like, dude, this is too hard to go and find somebody else again. I've had some good ones come my way, and yeah, I'm keen.
Well, you've made a new Calidad fan out of me. I saw that they got thrown on the bill, and I listened, and I'm like, how can this be done on acoustics but still have so much depth and still be heavy? It didn't need distortion, but it's still heavy.
Yeah.
Because I guess my ears hear it with distortion. Like, I'm like, wow, that'd sound good with distortion. And it's something else. They're special. And they've been going for a long time too.
Yeah, and the thing is too, as soon as they emailed me and they sent me their music through, and I then had to click on it and have a listen. I just had that vision of them at Jimna on the stage with that open grassed area and the lighting and at night, and just thought, they're gonna be sick. They're gonna go off.
They are gonna kill it.
The energy that they're putting out off that stage is going to be fed straight back to them. I just had this beautiful vision of people really getting into them, and it's such a kick-ass lineup on the Sunday night with Calidad and then the Wayward Sons and then Crave.
Yeah.
I mean, you survive that, you'll survive anything.
Yes. And you camp out on the Sunday night as well, and then you leave. Everyone leaves on the Monday. Yeah.
Yeah. We sort of kick them out by midday Monday. You know, you get a few stragglers, but most people are packing up and getting ready to go when they get up out of bed. And it was all off in single file orderly on the Monday last year, and
Nice.
we had no issues. And everyone went away just thinking, wow, what just happened?
Yeah.
I can't wait. It's been so long since I've been to a festival. And then one that I'll get to camp out at too.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be so good just to be able to go, okay, I'm done.
Yeah. And it's really nice as well that you can get really up close to the music if you want to, but then you can go back to camp and you're not kind of dealing with the blasting music that you would, right by the stage.
Yeah. Yeah, you can take your time out if you feel the need. But I think last year, sort of towards the last 4 or 5 bands on the Friday and the Saturday and the Sunday night, we had quite a large crowd that had spread out. I remember looking out and seeing them right back to where the sound desk was, and I mean, we're not talking thousands, and nor do I want it to be thousands. I mean, I want to keep it at that level where it is grassroots and it is that personal type of, I don't know, vibe, whatever you call it. Yeah,
well, because it's that.
But we had just over 500 last year, and that was just nice, because I tell you what, you don't get 500 on the venue, and we haven't had 500 on the venue in Brisbane for a long time. So yeah, it's great. It's a good atmosphere, and if you're still thinking about it, buy a ticket.
Man, if you haven't already, where are you going? Come on, man. What are you doing with yourself?
It's struggling a bit at the moment because we've got the Easter weekend happening, of course, and everyone goes away for Easter, and it's never really been a pre-sale thing with the peeps of Brisbane. So the bands have done well. A lot of bands have got rid of their tickets, but a few of them still have tickets available, and if you hit them up, you get $50 off your tickets, so you're only paying $100 for a ticket, which is pretty cheap for a weekend of 26 bands and camping with mates.
Yeah, one stage, so you see everything. Everything. This is a well-oiled machine.
It is a well-oiled machine.
Run by one of the best in the local scene.
Absolutely.
Easily, hands down. So far that I've met. So I've met a few promoters in my time, and I'll tell you what, you're the most organised one, Kaz.
Oh, you have to be organised after having 4 sons. I mean, it's 5 years apart.
It's all true. It's all led up to this. All that training is led up to this.
It has come to this, yeah.
Well, look at it. Look what it's turned into.
In.
Have you been asked yet to take this to any other country towns in Queensland?
I have, and by a few people. But where do I get the money from? I mean, it's not cheap. I'd have to take a production crew with me and a back line. And that includes a stage and carting it all there. I mean, that's not cheap. And fuel the way it is at the moment. I mean, who wants to be paying that much in fuel? And then you get to a small country town, you want to make it a free gig so that everybody comes, but you can't afford to make it a free gig because you've got costs to pay.
And council aren't going to want to put that on.
Well, this is where the council or the government should come into play. But I've had 2 grants knocked back now. Maybe need to find a new
Third
grant.
time lucky.
Yeah. But if they want to encourage musicians to keep going, they just need to put money into the arts. They need to.
Well,
And I've been doing this for very little, mostly nothing, and I'm happy to, but it's just hard to take that vision somewhere else when it's costly.
it is. But I mean, hopefully, enough of us will make a bit of noise and put enough up on Facebook and really try and pump the socials over the weekend. And I'll be making videos, and I've got another one of my mates that's coming up is a YouTuber as well.
Awesome.
So yeah, so hopefully he'll do some videos for it too. He's a full driving YouTuber.
Cool.
A 4-wheel driving YouTuber.
Yeah, so he does full.
YouTuber and a 4-wheel driving YouTuber.
I feel like that's very Queensland, even though you're not in Queensland.
Yeah, well, we after the band stuff, we had to find something to do to be creative. So
Yeah, that's it.
this is
And I
it.
think that's the thing, is that it's an incredible festival and a really life-changing experience. It's just that not all that many people have heard of it
Well,
yet.
I haven't heard of it. That's the problem. It's getting it out there, apart from on the internet, because you're quite stagnant and only sent out through the algorithms to so many. I mean, and your paid ads, how far do they go?
And they don't go to your backyard. They go all overseas where it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
And we've got banners. I mean, huge banners for Jimna Rocks that we put up. One's just gone up in Kilboy on the fence near the BP. So hopefully people in Kilboy will know about it. We've got a banner up on the side of Brisbane Body Canvas Tattoo in Brisbane on a main road. And another couple up around the Jimna areas, and posters. There's lots of posters going out there. We're doing what we can. I mean, apart from TV or radio advertising, which can be quite costly.
Wow, far out.
Love it though.
It's like, but you sort of think, oh, being in the band and stuff like that, but the real work goes on behind the scenes, like getting that stage crew together, getting the sound engineer on, getting the money to pay those individuals.
Yeah, who work from, even though the music starts at 11 a.m, they're setting up from when they crawl out of their van at 8 o'clock in the morning. And they've got it all set up, and then their day doesn't finish till 11, 12 o'clock. And then they're back up to do it all again the next day. So they put the hours in, they put the time in. So any volunteers out there who want some live stage experience, hit us up.
Do it.
Volunteers.
You help the community. I'll help out any way I can.
Yeah, we
I'll try and help out.
One of the sound colleges last year, JMC, I think it was. I could be wrong. It might have been just a QUT one, but they were great. There was about 6 of them, I think, and they helped out. Kept had them doing lights and everything by the end of the night.
It takes a village. It takes a village to make these things run. Rome wasn't built in a day, and it wasn't built by one bloke. It was built by. Look at the pyramids.
It's worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
But I'm not
true.
getting any younger though, Kyle. That's the problem.
That
But
These
in the
things
meantime,
take time.
I think about this stuff all the time. It's just like, at least you can honestly say you haven't wasted it. Look how busy. Like, does it ever get to a point with you now that, like,
I can't do this anymore.
yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, do you ever just sort of, how much more you got left? Do you reckon?
With this,
Yeah.
until the next really good band comes along and their music affects me. Look, I'm always like, it's not an easy job sometimes, but when you get to experience and discover new music, as you know yourself, and it sparks something in you, and you just think, oh yeah, well, let's help them get it out there. I mean, I've been building a page up for many, many years, and I've got a following, and a lot of that following follow what bands I put out there. So, I mean, it's not hard to do that. And I don't think I'll be running as many venue shows in Brisbane after Jimna Rocks. I think I'm going to take a break from that.
Yeah.
I need some me time, and planning Jimna in 2023.
And that's the thing. You've built such a community with yourself now that you can do that. You can take a step back now and not worry about the whole pub scene anymore.
Yeah, the pub scene's sort of been waning, and it's just going through that peaks and troughs as the music industry does. And I've stepped back before and come back in. And at the moment, I think it's time to step back and just gather my thoughts, work on some grants for Jimna for 2023, and start looking at who's going to be on the lineup.
Well, look at that. Already planning for next year, and the other one, and this show hasn't even been finished, hasn't even started yet.
Yeah, well, 12 months is not a long time.
No, it's not. There's not enough hours in the day, especially when you got to work full time and, you know, you got to live life as well. You still got to have you find that much time for yourself.
I have no life at the moment.
Superwoman.
I have a great life, but yeah, it is busy.
It'll be such a satisfying feeling when everyone's there having a good time, and it'll be Sunday and you'll just be able to breathe and everyone will give you a massive hug and it'll be awesome.
And then I'll get COVID or something. No,
oh, no, you won't.
Don't even put that out there.
No, you
that's
won't.
true.
No, you
But
won't.
yeah, no, it's the same as last year. I mean, it was very stressful, and we got it all to come together, and it was a nice feeling to sit back and go, wow, you know, we did it.
Yeah, I made this. Look at what I made. I made this.
Yeah, I made this. Yeah, well, my youngest son was there helping me last year. He was 19, and I don't think he sort of took much interest in what I did. He just knew Mum ran bands, and he said to one of the fellows that he was working with in merch, like, I can't believe my mum did this. I'm like, yep.
You should be very proud. You should be very proud. You're a very cool mum, I've got to say.
Yeah.
That's one. Hey, and you're not just, you know, you're a mum to the community as well.
Oh, I certainly am.
Absolutely.
So many adopted children.
Yeah.
No, it's good. It's a good thing to be. You know, like this is why men will never be equal to women. You're something. Look like what you can build, and what you can do. You create life in that, man. Oh. Mate, no, I'm all, yeah, no, I'm 100% behind it. No, you're far superior. Organising everything, I'm useless. If it wasn't for my wife, I would crumble.
Takes a special someone to put something like Jimna Rocks together.
It's true. It takes a lot of care. It takes a lot of care. It takes all the care in the world. It's not just some. It's not, well, like, okay, you got to think. You could, like, I used to ring up just random people and sort of just go, oh, can we play at this? Can we play at that? That's a bit different. But when you're organising 26 bands, you're doing spreadsheets for 26 bands, you're organising food trucks, merch stands, grog, sponsors, the whole lot.
Yeah.
Like, it just goes, and big shout out to Coopers, Jack Daniels and Young Henrys. Greg, get back at me from Young Henrys. Come on, boy. I said this on Friday. Come on, man. I sent you an email. Get back. But, no, like, it's so good to see that you've got the ability to actually do that as well. Get sponsors. It's no small feat. It's no small feat what you've done.
It takes a while. I mean, it's taken a long time to get them on board, but they're here now, and they know what I do, and they're very well. They're behind it. I mean, they want to see music thrive in Australia. They want to see these young bands coming through.
Well, I'm sick of the American scene, to be completely... After jumping on board doing this...
They just keep rehashing the old guys and putting them around, and people are spending their money on that. I mean, start putting the younger bands that have got a bit of talent out there.
People get stuck in a bit of a nostalgia scene.
Chilling, you know, like...
Shots fired there.
No, it's true. No, it's true. Like, you know, I'm not... Look, you know, I'm in my mid-30s. I've got 2 kids. I'm just like... unless it's like a really big show that I could sort of drag...
Not really what demographic to get out to. Because you're all settling down and you're having your kids, and I totally get that. Being there. That. I mean, I didn't come into the scene until I was 40. I'd already had my 4 and just fell into the scene because of my eldest son. But, I mean, you're a hard demographic to get to.
100% we are.
The younger ones that are coming out of school, they're listening to all this bullshit that's on the radio, and they've got a whole wrong perception of what music's about. They probably don't even know what instruments they're playing.
If no one's taught them.
No, it's the music... used to be once, you know, you had your records and people looked forward to bands bringing stuff out, and they were, may I say it, on Countdown, you were introduced to new stuff. I mean, these days, getting people out to live music events is not easy.
No.
in the genre that I do, in the blues and rock, and they'll go to a doof. You get thousands go to Rabbit Eats Lettuce and Elements and Frequency and all the Earth Frequency, and that's great. I mean, I love those sort of things as well, but we just need to open it up a little bit more for bands that are out there giving it a go. No matter what genre, that they're actually just giving it a go. And some of them are putting in a lot of work, Crave, to get out there, to be able to get overseas and be an export for Australia. We need it.
100. That is probably one of the truest statements I've ever heard. Like, and this is the reason why I started doing this. Was after Skunkbone brought out their track Endoscopy, the thing was stuck in my head all day the next day.
Earworms.
Yeah, and I was just like, you know what? I thought, how good would it be if someone actually just spoke to local bands and just tried to get their stories out there?
Okay, yeah.
And because I knew those guys, I thought, it's better than trying to start off with someone that I don't know. And then it was just, after doing that, you got on the phone, you were straight onto me, and it's just been what I sort of threw out there has been received back tenfold, and it's just been so good. It is, and just the community and getting back in touch with other bands that I used to talk to and stuff like that. It's just, music will never die. Music will never die, and I can't wait till my kids are old enough to look after themselves so I can go back out again. With my wife.
Party.
Or just get them into it young so that you can bring them along. And
Next year, it's
that is
bringing them.
I've made it all ages because I want kids to get out there and see that. So many kids never get to see a live band. They can't go into pubs.
No,
but
well, that's...
They can go there. It's not a huge festival atmosphere where they're going to be crushed in a mosh. I mean, they can take the kids there. We had a little fella dancing the whole festival up front, and he would have been probably about 10, 11.
Yeah, like probably about that. Like,
he had the most amazing time, and there was just so many kids there dancing on the outer skirts during the day, and other kids just holding their phones up and just in awe of what they were watching on the stage. And if it means that it inspires one child as a Jimna to take up music, and yeah, it's worth it.
Oh, you're such a beautiful soul, Karen. It's so awesome. You still got so much care and thought into what you do that you just don't think about the band. You're even thinking about the people that are watching and what they can take away from it too. That's such an awesome thing.
Well, that's where I've always been. I've been on that side. I was influenced through my life by bands. I mean, crazily enough, saw In Excess when they came up to town for a little bit gig, and I loved them so much I drove straight down to the Gold Coast to see them play again. Like, music impacted me when I was 14, and thanks to an uncle of mine who took me to a live concert, which was Joe Cocker at the time. And from there was a succession of Australian rock bands that I got to see, and a few overseas bands, and I was hooked. I love live music, and I think there's just so much out there that doesn't get out there. The Australian government needs to wake up and start putting some money behind the arts, especially the live music industry that's lost so much through COVID.
Well, they didn't even think about it really, did they? Until it was sort of...
They're the first industry to come forward and raise money for disasters, but they're always last to be thought of.
That is another 100% true statement. Do you know how many gigs I've played where they've been for charity reliefs, and as soon as the fires happened in Sydney, there was show after show after show after show of guys that I knew putting on shows for bushfire relief, and like the music, because it's our community. It's like they're just our mate. Some poor dude's music gear probably got burnt out down in that.
Yeah.
I had I had Ilya Igorovich on a couple of weeks ago, and he's all his recording gear gone.
Yeah. I mean, that's like Valhalla Lights, their bass player. He lost everything in the Lismore floods, and
I think there were people,
there was so many musicians in northern New South Wales that lost their studios, lost their instruments. I did the gig at the back room and turned it into a fundraiser on the night, basically, and we raised $1,000, and You know, Angela from Valhalla Lights had seen it firsthand. Her family, 80-year-old parents, water up to their necks, and her brother's saving them at 5 in the morning. Terrifying for them, but you know, it's been a hard couple of years for people. So if you want to let your hair down, come to Jimna.
Well, I'm going to pose a question to the both of you now.
Oh.
So Ari, you've just sort of come back into the live music scene, kind of fresh into it, and Karen, you've just been in neck deep in it for so long, and you had a bit of time in it previous to getting back into it now. So, COVID, the music scene was going reasonably well. Pubs were getting packed out, lots of bands were playing, people were showing up. It was okay. Like, obviously, you can't... DJ sets are just so cheap. You just rock up with your USB stick, a little desk, and... Do you know what I mean? Like, for cost and all that stuff, yeah, I completely get it. Do you think that... How big has the shift been after COVID with the live music scene, and do you think it will ever sort of go back to some sort of parity?
I think it's been massive. I know, at least for me, I was entering back into it when COVID had already struck, so it wasn't, I didn't get to see the kind of stark contrast, but compared to when I was doing gigs when I was 17, 18, that in itself was massive. It was, you know, there were so many more people out and about, and no one was afraid of, you know, having any sort of health concerns being out. Everyone was just living life, and now it's not just shifted the amount of people that are allowed in venues. There's that fear in going and putting yourself in a situation where you may be vulnerable to catch COVID, and I think it scares a lot of people. And people have been kind of letting that fear stop them from being able to go and enjoy a lot of the things that they used to.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know, it was a shitty time. I mean, I was running gigs where people had to wear masks, people had to sit down, and they had to put a mask on. They could take their mask off to have a drink, but they had to put their mask on to go to the bar. And I hate rules. I'm a bit of a rebel, and it was annoying as hell. You know, they could sit right on top of each other, sitting on the chairs, but if they got up, they had to walk straight to the bar and come back and be distanced from each other in the bar. So there was lots of conflicting rules going on. It was tough times. The caps on the venue really knocked it around, and as Ari said, people got scared and people stopped going out, and we were struggling to get people to venues. And yeah, that's how it is, and we lived through it, but I hope we don't have to go through that again.
No, I don't think we will.
Hopefully now that they're changing the mandates and more people will be allowed out, then it'll make a big difference, because I know even for a number of my shows with the Oztones, there were people that would have been there that suddenly weren't able to, and even friends that would, you know, be trying to get in, and like even maybe 2 days after the mandates came out, and then weren't able to be allowed in venues. And so it was a large part of the demographic suddenly couldn't be there to support live music, so we had to rely on everyone else. So hopefully now that the mandates are changing, that will make a difference. But I think the beauty with Jimna as well is that that's not going to be an issue. Everyone's accepted and allowed to attend.
No, that's good. That's good. I seriously am so pumped for Jimna. I really cannot wait. Ivan Bonilla, how you going, buddy? He's a regular watcher, Ivan. How you going tonight, mate? What's cracking? Boycott COVID? Yeah, boycott COVID. Oh, look at that. Lovely.
Oh,
Cheers.
nervous.
Cheers.
Karen.
No worries. No worries.
Well, I reckon one day it should all balance back out. One day.
Oh, absolutely. And I think there's something that I guess I've experienced in my own life, and I think is applicable in a number of areas, is that oftentimes when you just have things a certain way, you take things for granted because you don't realize the value and, you know, I guess the beauty of the experience that you're having. And then suddenly, if you don't have that anymore, when you're able to have that again, you have this new sense of gratitude for it. And I think that's what we experienced last year with Jimna. was the gratitude of being able to be out at a festival and out amongst it.
Yeah.
And while, you know, while some people have been able to carry on with that, it's going to be this new sense of gratitude again of having us all together out under the stars enjoying a festival and just not having to think about all of the other stuff that's been happening for a while.
Yes, it's going to be so good to get out, detach, get around with some like-minded people just there to see just top music. I'm looking forward to meeting everybody there. I'm going to finally meet all the people that I've had on, and then we're going to get to meet new people that I'm going to have on, and it's going to be special. And if you haven't got your ticket yet, go and get it, because seriously, you don't know what you're missing. And if you haven't, go watch the other podcasts with all the other awesome bands I've had on. I'm looking forward to seeing PhD just quietly.
Yeah. I love PhD. I mean, I've run them a couple of times, but Sydney, the front woman, amazing. Canadian girl, and they've come a long way from when I first ran them, and yeah, they just took me away to another place. That band, they're very punk. They're in sync when they jump. No, they're a good band. They really put it out there 100%. I'm really excited to have them on the lineup at Jimna, and they're excited to be there too.
Yeah, everyone that I found, man, there is like you said, the Australian government really does need to take note, because the level of songwriting skill that is around at the moment. I don't know. It was like COVID was sort of a blessing to musicians just to sort of sit there.
They had to bunker down and write and jam and learn music, and that's what. There was so much good stuff come out of COVID in that respect, because musicians had to take notice of what they were really doing, because they had this, and they learned technology where they couldn't hang out to jam, so they were hanging out online, but they were still refining stuff online together.
The beer is getting to me, so I will be right back.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Would you say the mirror's getting
No,
to
the beer.
Oh, the beer. Oh, it's a little ladies' room break. I just walk off. I don't.
But
yeah, no, it would be interesting to see the Australian government take note. And I mean, I'm sure there's so many other bands around Australia and in New South Wales and Victoria who are out there doing their thing. And yeah, they should just get behind them, because they are the future of Australian music. We can look back now, and I mean, Triple M will flog AC/DC and, you know, all those sorts of bands that were around ages ago. And they need to be playing much more new content, and not content from America, of all the same genre.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff I'm talking about.
Yep.
On the radio.
What you mean, Triple M, the Foo Fighters station? I love Foo Fighters, you know, like.
I do too, but yeah, I mean.
Know. Well, you know, after what, and you know, I'm probably going a bit off topic here in regards to Jimna and stuff, but you know,
Okay.
Tailor-Made Rejects. Those guys are just, wow, they're on another level. And I'm just like, how come these guys, because like I said to you before, I thought they were a thing. I'm like, how'd you get, like you had all these really small, like all these small bands, and then you had Tailor-Made Rejects. I'm like, I'm sure these guys are a thing. And I want to hear them.
Brian in a band in 2014, the lead singer. And he blew me away then. He was a very talented boy. And had a great voice. So yeah, he's been around a while, and he's sort of joined with a few musicians that I've known around the Brisbane scene. And yeah, they're really putting some good stuff out there. I mean, unfortunately, they couldn't play Jimna. I did ask them, but they had things that they were doing. So yeah, who knows? Next year.
No, get them on now. Just book them now.
I think they're busy.
No. Back on the Jimna. Because this is why we're here. The big thing. If anyone, what would you say would be the biggest, your sort of, your idea, say, if you could put Jimna into, say, one sentence, what would it be?
You're pulling out the good questions tonight. I could feel, as you were saying, I could feel it amping up to be a big
Yeah, I had to make sure it was right.
Yeah, Karen went, fuck.
You were hoping I was 6 or 7 beers deep tonight, weren't you, Karen?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was. I don't know. I couldn't put it into a sentence. I mean, it's just an awesome weekend.
That's a great sentence. Just an awesome weekend.
Yeah, it's an awesome weekend.
I would say an inspiring weekend filled with adventures and antics.
With cream and a cherry on top.
Oh. So, give us the whole rundown. What's everything? Okay, so we got the bands. We know we got the live music stuff. What's all the little added extras that's going on around Jimna that make it the awesome little festival it is?
Oh, a lot of weirdos.
Prime examples.
I'm there.
Right?
Yeah, we're all there.
Johan's doing yoga.
Yeah, Johan's
doing
doing
a
yoga.
yoga session. I don't know if it's Sunday or just a Sunday. I'm not organising it. It's something he's doing with somebody that's helping with some stuff. Anyway, Johan's doing yoga, so
There's the market stalls as well,
market stalls.
which is going to be filled with some quality stuff, especially a ton of amazing vintage, like
My
vintage
friend's
shop
got a
style
lot of that
ones.
stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a really, really cool market, and then offside there's the big Jimna market stall, which is in the Jimna Hall, and they got everything. So it's a nice place to wander down, have a look, and come back.
So if you're not feeling the band at the moment, you can just be like, all right, let's just have a bit of quiet time. Let's go see what's up.
Craig said it in the interviews that we had with them the other week, that you could be wandering around and taking in nature in the bush and wandering down the road to the community hall of Jimna and have a look in there at the market stuff. And in the background you can hear like a punk band thrashing out, which would have either been Monsters Up North or 3 Hour Flight on the Saturday afternoon last year.
And being able to go for a good thing of delicious food with get some good munchies at the end of the night or throughout the day too.
Yeah,
Makes a big difference.
Lamingtons did really well at Sydney Snack apparently last year.
I love me a good Lamington. Lamingtons are so underrated.
When I went and said to them, how's it been? Like, have you had a good weekend? And they said, oh, we did really well with the cakes after midnight.
I wonder why.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no,
I'll be having a few.
A lot of the food vendors are back.
I think probably more of the magic of Jimna though is the people. While there's so many different, other great elements to it, when you're there, it's just this beautiful place for being able to connect with a number of people, have great chats and, jams around the campfire.
Lots of jams last year.
Yeah, while getting good food, even when the music's not playing, it's more so about the collection of people that are all there and being able to mix and, inspire each other.
Wow. Oh, see, I can't wait.
In one spot. That's it. So many musicians in one spot. And they're all in different genres and they're all crossing over and they're all having drinks together and jamming around a bonfire and people are coming in and people are going out. And it's just a very magic place, Jimna. Everything comes together.
There you go. A place where friendships and dreams are made and new careers are started and new friends. Like, it's an experience. It's a journey for the soul.
That's a great description for it. I like that.
Journey for the soul.
It sounds like it. I mean, just off the stories I've heard, most of the bands I've had on have either played Jimna or have heard some wonderful stories about Jimna, and it's pumped me up. It's pumped the two blokes I'm bringing up with me.
It's such a beautiful place, Kyle. It's such a beautiful spot.
I can't wait. I'm gonna
up there Sunday, and it's so green from all the rain that we've had. It's like this green velvet, 2.5 hectares of camping area, which is absolutely amazing. And just the drive up there, it's beautiful. It really is a nice place.
Oh.
Great time with Sergeant Peppers.
Oh,
on the way out.
I've been up there twice now. I'm going up again on Friday. There's a lot of preparation going on.
Well, that's awesome. It'd be great for the community. It's great for the scene. It's MMK's legacy. I hope it never, ever, ever, ever ends.
My legacy.
Absolutely. You could feel last year that it was just something special, something so unique that you don't come across every day. And I believe it's going to keep running for a number of years, and it's just going to keep growing as the years pass.
I'll need a mobility scooter.
Right.
We'll get you on a moped or the Segway.
That's
Yeah,
it.
either that or an electric scooter so I can get around, because I mean I did so many miles last year.
You gotta have that dedication. You gotta have the dedication to do what you do, and especially pulling, essentially what was pulling bands out of a situation that was COVID. You know, a lot of stagnant bands, and what I've kind of said is, and it might have pissed off a lot of people or whatever, but it is what it is. COVID separated the players from the stayers.
Yeah, it did.
Straight up, well, that's what it did. It just like a lot of bands that relied on the live scene, it sort of
Well,
just
all the larger bands went to ground. They just refused to sit down audiences or capped shows.
yeah.
They get their money back if they paid to a capped show, and that's where I came into it for Woolly Mammoth at the time, because they were a venue that was running touring shows and larger bands, and of course touring shows and larger bands wasn't happening. So we went in there with the local, and we were capped at 100 people, so we were only just making costs with what was coming through the door. So fun times.
I can completely understand why you're taking a step back with the current situation that is the whole pub scene at the moment.
Yeah,
I completely.
I love what I do. I'm passionate about what I do, but I have rent to pay, so I took another job, and that job pays really well, and it takes 38 plus hours a week.
And that's it. You still got to keep a roof over your head and all that cool stuff.
Which makes it extra impressive that she's been pulling off Jimna as well.
Exactly.
And I think the difference was with COVID is that it could go one of two ways. Either it was kind of a make or break time. And, for when it started happening, I guess I could see that it was going to be a blessing in ways of that opportunity for artists to have more time at home, to be able to write. And for me, it was a big key in it being that COVID time when I started getting into writing and really, knuckling down a bit more with music in Adelaide. But it is, it isn't the way that it's been for everyone. And obviously there's been a lot of downsides to it. But I think that, as I was saying earlier, it's going to make everyone kind of come with this renewed sense of gratitude that we wouldn't have had otherwise, because everyone was treated to live music for so long. But I guess probably didn't have the full appreciation for it that they do now.
That could not agree more. Could not agree more. You never know how much you realise you missed something until it's been taken away from you.
Absolutely.
Snatched out of your hands, and it's like, for all that, I might go to that show, I might not. It's like when there's no more shows back on, it's like, geez, I really wish I went to that show.
Yeah.
If I had known that was going to be the last show I was going to go to for 2 years, I would have gone.
March 2020, everything shut down. Where I was working out of a hotel where I've been working for quite some years, they were an ALH hotel, so they said, that's it, we're not running live music anymore, COVID's here. So I had from March until July I think it was, before I was contacted by another venue to run shows. And then the shows just ran all through 2020 and 2021, and I was hearing all these things about, live music's not running, and it was still running, but people weren't bothering to come out to see it. We were getting our people through the door and hitting our cap at a lot of the shows, but we still struggled through that with the local bands, but we didn't get the support from people, and whether it was fear of catching COVID or I don't know, they were just unsure about going out, so we just didn't get it. That was hard, because I had a paying job running local bands through ALH, and that just went with COVID. And then next thing you know, I was having to pay costs to run at a venue for the bands to still keep playing. And the venues were trying to make their money because they were going under with the caps. They couldn't let a lot of people through the doors. So a lot of the venues were struggling, and I think a lot of the venues closed down. And that was another hard thing, not only for promoters, but for bands as well, because there was less and less places for them to play. So COVID had a huge impact even on the local scene as much as it did on the hierarchy, the touring bands. But the touring bands coming back, festivals coming back. And I mean, Jimna's just a grassroots festival, but at least we don't have to deal with all the heavy stuff that COVID brought upon us last year and the year before. So that's a good thing.
Well, you put off the impossible in the midst of it, didn't you? Look what you did.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Look what you did.
And I mean, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or in a few months' time. So I hope it'll inspire people to enjoy it while we can. You know, we just don't know what's going to happen, and so it's nice to be able to make the most of it and you know, enjoy the opportunity while it's there.
It's going to be such a good opportunity. It's a good opportunity for bands to get heard. It's a good opportunity to go meet new people. It's good opportunities all around. It's going to be an awesome weekend.
Absolutely.
So,
It'd be nice to be able to meet you in person as well.
oh, it's going to be so good to meet everyone. It's going to be so good to meet everyone. Finally have a proper drink with everyone instead of over this screen.
Yeah.
Cheers, big ears.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's my water. Cheers.
Yes, that's right. You have to work. I understand.
It's all right.
On a night when he's not even drunk.
I know. You put yourself in the deep end there.
Well, yeah. The missus is like, oh, you're going to get beers for your podcast a lot? I'm like, oh, if I grab the 6-pack, I'm going to demolish the 6-pack, and it's going to be a crap day at work tomorrow.
Those feels.
Yeah.
We appreciate you taking the time still.
No, I once it's locked in, it's locked in. Unless I'm in hospital or something dramatic happens in the family, I'll be here. Even if I get a broken leg and I'm out of hospital in time, I'll be here.
Don't need a broken leg to talk.
No, that's it. That's it. My voice ain't going anywhere with the amount I used to smoke and scream in the old band and stuff like that. My voice ain't gone yet. It ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, we got on the chat. Ivan is a good follower.
Yeah, Ivan is a very good follower. Ivan's been on here for a long time. He jumps every time I do one of these, and every now and then when I muck around with my gaming stuff, he's always on having a chat. He's an avid music fan.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Come to Jimna.
I'm trying. I keep telling him every time.
Yeah.
Where you from, Ivan?
Ivan, where are you from, man? Tell Karen and Ari where you from. Pretty sure he's from Sydney. He's actually a student. He was a student of two of the guys I had on here that are teachers. Yeah.
That's lovely. And I think that's the thing, is that, you know, it's the support from people out there that makes the difference. That's what keeps inspiring people.
And then we get two of ours.
Yeah. Because what I'm doing is, right, I got a little switch here, yeah?
Do you like the props at the back?
I do.
Got the Jimna.
Representing. So what I do is I have a little special screen here, and I have a screen that just focuses on the two of you, and then I have a screen that comes onto me and you.
Area.
Yeah,
Is
so
that area in Sydney?
yeah, that's actually not very far from me at all. It's probably like half hour away from me.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. We should catch up for a coffee one day, Ivan.
Yeah.
Are you old enough for beer? I prefer beer.
You wouldn't guess.
No, that's it. I'm not coffee buddy.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Well, that's why I thought I should get some form of beer.
Yes, yeah, well, I normally do. I normally try and rep a beer. I've been trying to rep the,
Been on the turkeys, and I need to stop being on the turkeys.
yeah.
Oh, I've carried the team for a while.
You have. You've held the flame well. You've held the flame.
Yeah, Ari.
Someone had to do it tonight.
Okay, yeah.
Represent.
Crack that whip.
Oh, many a beer will be had at,
More later on.
he's definitely old enough for a beer. Good man. We'll have to catch up for a beer one night.
He's old enough for a beer. I mean, yeah.
Well, Ivan's starting a band, so if Ivan's starting a band and it's good, I'll have him on.
Yeah.
And we can.
You want a gig in Queensland, Ivan?
I heard there's this
What sort of
event
music do
called
you do, Ivan?
Gym or something.
Yeah. Geez, the Sydney scene's kicking right back off again in a big way. In a big way. But yeah, have you ever heard of a band called Nouveau?
I haven't. No.
You go, yeah, I've heard of them.
They're back out touring again. You should.
Good.
They're very good. They're very good. Good friends too.
Stuff.
It's kind of like a Static Xy sort of feel.
Yeah. I know who they are. Yeah.
I don't know if they still do the face paint stuff, but yeah, they do the face paint stuff too, and they're cool dudes.
Lino in the band?
I only know James. They've been through a fair few lineup changes in the past.
Yeah. I think I know who they are.
Yeah, Barnsey. He's a good man. Wow. So, Karen, now that I've got you on, 5 albums that made you the person that you are today.
AC/DC. Back in Black. House of the Holy, Led Zeppelin. Godsmack.
Wow.
Machine Head.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Can't think.
3.
Clenching the Fists of Descent. The album that was on. Can't remember. Anyway.
Good test for the memory.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. How many am I up to? That's hard.
3.
3.
Oh,
You got 2 more. You need 2 more.
Oh, if I go back early, when I first started, definitely Susie Quattro.
Oh, nice.
Played a lot of Susie Q and Kiss.
Oh, shout it out loud.
Shout it out loud.
Shout it out loud. Ivan is still trying to find his sound. And they're trying to figure it out, but they want to try and sort of move down that Violent Soho path. And I'm a massive Violent Soho fan, so...
Violent Soho's so good, yeah.
I
mean, there's so much good music out there. I'm a huge Parkway Drive fan, by the way.
Oh, I love Parkway.
Me too.
Deep Blue.
I think it was 2012 or 2013, and they were excellent live.
Yeah.
12, I got told about them, and the guy I was dating at the time said, I don't know if you really liked Blue Monarchy. And I didn't. And then they were like...
Yeah. A-OK, their last album, A-OK, is an absolutely fantastic
they're
piece
a
of
great
work.
band. Yeah.
But speaking of Parkway Drive, how good is Deep Blue, that album Deep Blue? That's my favourite. I reckon that was just one of the greatest beats of Australian metal recording history ever to be made.
I agree.
It was just
I can respect it. It's just not as much my style.
Have you listened to any Parkway?
I've only heard bits and pieces. I think it might be that
It'll grow on
touch
you.
too heavy.
I get that.
But but I can also respect
Crushed by
that
the
it's a
hand
lot
of
of
God.
excellent
Are you
work
Christian?
that's gone
Are
into
you
it.
Christian?
I was raised Christian.
Well, I'm going to play a crushed by the hand.
You want to play God Hates Us All, don't you?
You have to. You have to educate me.
I personally think you'd be into like Seven Dust, Ari.
Yeah, I got to meet them on my 56th or 57th birthday. 56th, I think.
I'm so jealous.
I got to
Lejeune.
meet Lejeune and yeah.
My wife has a crush on Lejeune.
Yeah, he's awesome, but he's such a shorty as well.
Yeah.
They're all beautiful. They're all beautiful.
Oh, you'd love him. You'd love him, Ari. Seriously, the guy can sing. The guy can sing. Like he can sing.
Manner about him, and we had a VIP thing, and so we got to see 3 or 4 songs before the gig actually started inside the Tivoli in Brisbane. So there was only about 20 of us. So that was pretty special. Very special, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is there's been so many times in my life where at that present time I wasn't a fan of a particular type of music, and then whether it be through life circumstances or through different people entering my life and then sharing their taste in music with me and it growing on me, I don't like to rule out an entire genre of music as my cup of tea. I like to think of it as it just hasn't been the right time for me to enjoy it fully or become a fan of it.
That is so true, because that was exactly my wife. So my wife was more of a country rock fan. So when I showed her metal and I knew what she listened to, I knew she wasn't going to like Lamb of God. She wasn't really going to like... Randy Blythe is the man. Like Lamb of God Wrath is... I just play that album at my funeral. Like, I love that album. Like, I love that album front to back. It's not a bad song. So I knew I wasn't going to get her into stuff like that. But I found bands that I knew she'd like. So it was like Seven Dust, Stained, Carnival. A lot of Australian prog. And I've said this in other podcasts. Australian prog just hits so much different. I'm not a massive, like Tool, I'm not a massive fan of.
I love Tool.
I love...
It was a religious experience.
Yeah.
The first time I saw Tool, I was on acid, and I was so happy that my wife said, "Can we leave?" Because I just finished the Rammstein set.
Was it just too full on for your trip?
Nah. Rammstein was hectic. Rammstein was just wow. That was an experience. That was a life-changing experience, but it was very hard to to have Rammstein in that sort of vibe and then go to Tool. It just didn't cross over very well. But I managed to see Tool the second time, and my old guitarist in the band got box tickets to it in Sydney. And we had some primo seats, and I'll tell you what, I will go see Tool live just for the show.
Yeah.
Like, their show is something else. And I love the fact that they were so strict on not having the phones out. They basically said if we see anyone with their phones out, we're going to stop playing. So everyone was really good in the crowd, and they kept their phones down, right?
Yeah.
And one or two people might have pulled them up, but what security were doing was they'd stand up in the crowd and then they'd shine the torch into the camera, so you couldn't get the stage.
That's
It was a good idea.
Yeah.
So, but what it did, it gave you an opportunity to sit there and absorb the whole show.
Yeah.
And it was a really big experience. What was weird, though, was when Maynard turned around at the end of the show and goes, "Okay, you motherfuckers, I know this is what you've wanted to do the whole show. Just pull your phones out." And no joke, everyone pulled their phone out, and it lit up that whole room in the stadium that we were watching him in, and it just completely changed the feel for the last song. And it was like, this is shit.
Wow.
And completely new respect, like for them as a group. I completely get what they do. It's just the albums, yeah. But wow, like blown away. But back on track, yeah. So definitely try and find the heavy stuff with, like you said, you like Toxicity. Try and just find heavy stuff without the screaming.
Well, I think it's a range of System of a Down that I really like, not even just their lighter stuff. I like the really wacky elements to their music, and I do like a lot of the screaming.
Yeah.
I think, I was into a bit of, it was more so pop punk that I was into, but I did really appreciate A Day to Remember as well. I think it was just that kind of next step was, just never appealed to me at the time. But who knows? Maybe it'll come out someday.
Oh, it will. You'll be there.
The next step for singing, learning how to scream.
Well,
No, you need to go there. You just need to appreciate it.
I find, like most people can get into music and stuff like that, but metal chooses you. You don't really choose metal.
Yeah.
It's like the right circumstance and the right band comes along. Like you were saying before, music can be a very circumstantial thing where you'll be there in the right time at the right moment. The right song will come on and it'll grab you forever, and you'll always love that band till the end of time. For me, that's Korn. Korn can do no wrong. I will always love them, no matter what they do.
Huge Korn fan.
Really, Kaz? Yes, like infinitely. Like they're the ones that got me in the metal. Well, my dad got me into metal.
Yeah.
But Korn was like my band that I picked all on my own, and always a
My
soft
son
spot.
was listening to a lot of Korn, and that's how I got into Korn.
Oh,
And he's probably around your age, so I mean, I used to have to listen to Marilyn Manson and Korn and all sorts coming out of his bedroom at the time. And I mean, he put a Disturbed. You'll find this funny. He's driving to school, and in went a Disturbed CD. And I said, "Who's this?" He said, "Disturbed." I said, "They're fucking Disturbed, all right." Because the
It's weird to think of that coming from you.
the start of the song, I mean, was like, wow.
Oh, Down with the Sickness. I know exactly what song you're talking about there.
And here I am, a mum of 4 kids. I've got a baby and another one is like 4 or 5, and another one that's 10, and then him at 15, 16, doing the school drop-off. And, I mean, usually it was whatever was on the radio or, just what was around at the time. I didn't take a lot of notice when I was driving him to school at that time of the morning. And he was trying all this new music out, and he put that in, and I was like, what is this? But then I couldn't get enough of it after that. I used to want to put in the CD all the time. And I pinched his Stained CD, and I started, grabbing all this music. Except for Marilyn Manson, I didn't quite get that at the time. No, I loved Beautiful People, but I wouldn't have had a clue that Manson sung it. I just heard them covering it with the band. And then I started listening to the other lyrics of the songs coming out of his room, and I'm like, this guy's weird.
Yeah, he was quirky. He's quirky. He's a quirky dude. But you see some of the interviews that he got on and stuff like that. He's a very intelligent. Probably.
He is. I mean, now I've got to know who he was. I mean, I did see him all coked up at Soundwave in Brisbane.
He was coked up at the Sydney fucking one too. He was fucking terrible. Dropping the microphone all the fucking time.
Oh, shocking. It was an embarrassment for him. But, you know, he is what he is. And when he was on top, he was on top. And when he was down bottom, he was down bottom.
Yeah, there's a long way to fall from grace for that dude.
Well, I think as well what you said about how metal chooses you, I think you could say that for any genre of music.
Yeah.
It's probably just a more intense one with metal. But I think that kind of happens with old types. Where,
it does. Whatever you're around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great way to view it, that a particular genre often chooses you. And there's that moment where
you need that in your life at that time of your life. You need
that
music, and
you hear it and you resonate with it, and you just kind of connect with it on a soul level, and it changes you in some way.
It does, and it almost feels like it's going to sound really weird when I say this. I feel like music can change people like on a molecular level. Yeah. Like it changes your brain, and this is true. Like music changes your brain chemistry, and they've done tests on this. Like they've done it on tests with Alzheimer's patients.
I worked in aged care, Kyle. I specialised in dementia.
Oh, there you go. And I'm sure.
Provisional, yeah. And I mean, I used to get the music and play it, and I had no idea about what was going around on the internet at the time, but it was something that I'd done with my own grandmother when she was dying. And she could no longer watch the TV, which she loved TV. So I started playing the music, and she was resonating with it. And so I did it when I was in aged care, and it was wonderful because, again, you know, you could have someone that was quite catatonic and just not catatonic and just not speak and be quiet, and then you put headphones and you play the music from their era that you knew they would familiarise with, and all of a sudden they'd light up and they'd start singing or tapping and connect with this music, and it was a beautiful thing to see. And some of them would then carry on a conversation afterwards, you know, and then fade away again. But it's been proven there is a small part of the brain that music does connect with. And I know myself, like I hear music that I heard back in my younger days, and it does spark something. Like I can remember the words to all the songs from back then, and yet now it takes a lot more to stick. So music's a very special thing.
It is, and it surpasses generations, and it can be passed on to generations. And yeah, like I think people, like, you know, most people look at musicians and they're just like, oh, it's a hobby, you know, and it's not. It's deeper than that.
Some of them is, but some of them it is just who they are, and it is them. It is their being. It is them, and they need to perform. They need to keep writing music. They need to keep getting it out, and a lot of people don't understand that. I mean, I had a lot of musicians come to me through COVID. Oh, please, cuz, you know, can you get us a gig? Because I'm going fucking mental here. Like, I need to play. I need to sing. I need to do this. You know, because it's their release. And I mean, for a lot of them, there's a lot of mental health issues in the industry, and good and bad, like in anything. And some of them just need that release to help them make them feel better, to get it out, to speak out what they've written down in lyrics, to be able to put that out there is important to them. And so if you can help somebody with that, I mean, you're on the right track.
Yep. Yeah. It's therapy. It's therapy for these people.
Yeah, therapy's the word. In short, therapy.
And like you said, you know, there's a lot, like, you know, like obviously mental health issues and stuff like that like we said on Friday, you know, like name me a non-damaged great musician and I'll call you a liar. Like it's but that's the thing, everybody on this planet has some form of damage or another.
Oh, hello.
Every now and then, you know, but what can be created from that? And I know it's probably very rude of me to say damage, but we all are damaged. We all have baggage.
We all have our bumps and nicks and dents, just like an old car. You know, we've all travelled through life, and we pick things up along the way, and you know, we don't get younger as we get older.
No.
And we take on stuff along the way, and it builds our character, and we're forever learning. And I said that to what was your name again? Ari.
It's when we know that it is. We've had the gift of the wild turkey. So if I say anything embarrassing, you'll forget that it's me.
Yeah, like I was saying to her, you know, it's important with what we do.
Yeah.
And the opportunities you give, you know, and helping her, like the help you give all those musicians to give them a voice or mainly a stage.
Well, I know that was a big thing for me, that when I wasn't performing, that was when I was at my worst. That was when I felt the lowest, because I wasn't using music as a way of channeling and releasing. And so when I had people guide me back into that, even back in Adelaide before I'd moved here, that was a game-changing experience for me, because it's what drew me back to the light again.
Like a moth.
Yeah,
Moth to the flame.
Like a moth to a flame. And I think there's a beautiful analogy that I've always really resonated with. I forget the actual word for it. But it's like the ancient technique where when a bowl or anything was broken, they would go through and fill its cracks with gold.
The old Chinese. The Chinese used to do that.
Yeah. And that was something that I really loved, especially when when it was presented to me in that way. At the time when it was presented to me, I was in a really broken state, and someone showed me that image and told me about that, and said, talked about how it was so much more beautiful because it had been broken and its cracks filled with gold. It was now something that was beautiful and unique and actually more special for having been broken. And I think that's a main thing with a lot of artists, is that there's a lot of artists you don't generally find artists that are, I guess, all perfect and haven't really suffered. A lot of the time what people connect with in art, while we love the happy music and the music that still brings us up and raises us up, it's that pain and suffering that artists have been through that people truly connect with. Yeah, and that's the thing. There's this excellent line, a lyric that I love so much, that it's like, like broken hearts and pain is what actually makes people, and writes the best songs.
Yep.
And I think that it's beautiful when you can look at people as not damaged or broken, but as people that may have been broken at a time, but then their cracks filled with gold, and now they're made into an amazing art piece in themselves, with a story and something unique to give.
It all depends on the way you pick up the pieces, I guess, isn't it?
Exactly.
And whether you're willing to pick them up or not. Sometimes,
you got to get up. You got to get up every day and just put one foot in front of the other, is what I've learned.
No, that was actually going to be my next set of questions. What are I've got to get Ari's 5 albums.
Oh, well, so probably top one would be, I know it's not even like technically a proper album, but the Blue album by the Beatles.
Yeah, you said that before.
That was one that I really connected with, especially when I was living in Nevada. It was one of the albums that influenced me a lot growing up, but I really loved it then, used to play it on repeat. Also, How to Be a Human Being by Glass Animals. I have had some amazing times to that and lots of life-changing moments. It's hard to think of the other ones off the top of my head, because I kind of ran through a few in my head before, and now that I'm on the spot, it's difficult to think of. Yeah. It's how hilarious is it as well when it's the stuff that influences you so much, and then now I go, can I pull out my Spotify and just have a flick through, because I can tell you that.
You can do it. You can do
Siri.
it.
Hey Siri, what's this?
What are my 5 favorite albums, Siri?
Sorry?
What are my 5 favorite albums, Siri?
Oh, well, it's hilarious actually, because even like my Spotify Wrapped last year, could have told you. But yeah, Glass Animals and the Beatles were definitely the top
two.
ones there. Yeah, it's hilarious that now my mind goes completely blank.
I think it's a very look. I ask the question every week or every time I speak to someone, but it's such a hard question because I guarantee if I gave you my five right now, I don't think they'd be the same as the last couple of times I've done it because I've listened to different stuff through the week and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
it just
people
moves
like
so
you know,
different.
there,
Yeah,
you know,
and not just that. Who really listens to albums anymore? It's not really like Spotify. You just sort of get your best bits and you just go mad, 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 mad. And you get all the best bits
see,
out of your
that's
favourite
the
albums.
difference between the younger
Yeah.
generation and the older generation because I didn't have a problem with albums.
Mm.
I just had a problem with their names.
Well,
But
you know what the thing was? You had to take the hit.
Yeah.
And it was like they'd bring out the single and you'd be like, okay, if this is their single that they're bringing out, their album's got to be good. And then you'd get the album, and then sometimes you'd get it, and you'd be like, what the hell did I just spend my $30 on? Because that's how much an album cost back in the day. Like, one album was $30.
my first job was working in a record store.
Oh. how
I revisited that going up to Jimna the other day. I put on ELO, Electric Light Orchestra. I hadn't heard for years. And that coming through the speakers is an amazing album. Another good one was Supertramp that I put on another CD. As I said to Ari, I work for Vinnie's. I manage a Vinnie store. So a lot of CDs come in. A lot of people throw out their collections. So I've been rehashing my old collection that I bought many years ago.
Yeah, my wife would hate that. I'd be coming home with just boxes of new stuff. Be like, oh, I know this band, but I haven't heard this yet. Oh, I'm taking that. I'm taking
That's
that.
what I do. I get it. I come home. I listen to it. But a lot of it I already know because I bought it, 20, 30 years ago. And to be able to just throw it into the CD player in the car now and cruise to music that I used to listen to when I was 17, 18, 40 years ago is amazing. You get to hear it on a whole new level.
Yeah. Well, that's the beautiful thing with it. Has Ari got her other three?
Yeah. I tried to just like casually pull up Spotify. Flume's self-titled album, Flume, I believe.
Yeah,
it
I
is.
remember my little brother showing me that. It was a bit slow for my liking at the time, but yeah, it was pretty good.
That was one that I loved deeply, as well as Blink 182's.
Oh, you gotta love her to Blink.
Self-titled, yeah. And like, there's that part of me that still has that element of like the Sound of White by Missy Higgins and the Born to Die. Basically, Lana Del Rey, I still hold a special place in my heart for, even though she doesn't influence my music as much anymore as what she did back in the day.
It's a good setup. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. I approve. I can't really not approve. It's not up to me what music you like.
Yeah. No, it's very true. And I think that's the thing is there's so many more, and even I also really enjoy rap and hip hop, and so that's what makes it so difficult to choose.
Well, it looks like Ivan has heard about the broken vase thing. He saw a TED talk. He saw a TED talk on it. That's good. It's good that thing's getting around.
Yeah, look, it went a bit mainstream, and so then I felt like it could be, like maybe a bit cheesy, but at the same time, when I first heard about it, it was a really key component for me and something I've always then reflected on and really liked.
Yeah, I guess it sort of comes from the whole thing of just because it's broken doesn't mean it can't be used still or not useful and still and keep giving you more.
Well,
after you pick up all the pieces and rebuild.
But then there's the one where you've got I remember seeing one once where you had the old Chinaman with the bar with the two vessels of water, and one was cracked, and on the side of the cracked one, the water had gone along the side of the path and flowers grew.
Oh.
The side where it was broken actually produced more than what the side that wasn't broken.
Oh.
I like that. And I think that's the thing with, it kind of goes hand in hand with life and with music. When you go through trials and suffering and pain that has an effect on you, it can either...
Good times as well, I think musicians write about their experiences or the experiences of their friends and family, and a lot of them put their heart on the line when they put their music out there, so it's a very personal thing, and for those musicians that do bring that sort of stuff out, it means so much more to them. And it's so much more than just having fans and people. It's what they need to do to be able to survive, I guess, is to have themselves heard and have that music out. So music's takes many roads, and I guess because I've worked in the metal scene and I've worked with rock and worked with young musicians, I've worked with old musicians, and the common element is music, and as much as they love it, and they want other people to love their music as well.
Yeah. I was just going to say as well, when you go through pain and suffering and things, it then brings that appreciation for all of the good times, but it also makes you stronger. And so I think that it's actually, I know for me, I almost appreciate people more when they have gone through hard times, because it means that often you develop a different perspective.
Well, it means they've lived. They've they haven't had this sheltered upbringing where nothing's gone wrong for them, and as soon as anything goes wrong, it's like this big thing, and it's just like, no, it's just another day. It's just go to bed, you wake up tomorrow, and it's all going to be okay.
Yeah. There was a quote that I heard a while ago that I really loved and resonated with, is that crisis is opportunity. And that was something that I began to really take on board. People think that suffering and pain is just a negative thing, but often it's what teaches us the greatest lessons in life.
Well, essentially, yeah. I mean, you could even turn around and say that, the music that people are making could be the result of the rebuilding of the broken bowl, the little bits of gold that they're putting on the broken bowl. It's such a powerful thing. So, it's such a powerful communication tool. Like, even so much so that when I think about it now, I don't know how to speak German, but I can sing Rammstein songs in German fluently.
Yes.
Talking about that last night.
And even going into like Kalidad, picking a very, very, very niche market in doing instrumental stuff, but then stepping outside the box and doing that whole mariachi sort of flamenco Spanish guitar stuff.
Yeah.
It's and then the face paint on top of that. They've just figured out a perfect way to stand out in the crowd, to look different, to keep to their roots.
Yeah.
And then every time I see videos of them, they've got crowd. Like they have got crowd. And everyone is up shaking their ass and having a good time.
Yeah.
Like it's such a good thing to see. And
how could you not to their music as well?
oh, exactly. I was in my car on the way home. I was shaking my ass in the car.
You're like, oh.
Yeah, I was getting my salsa going.
Bit of the dance driving.
Yeah, well, as much as I can. I try to headbang when I drive. My kids love it.
Kids love a good headbang.
You headbang when you're dropping them off.
You're like this, Karen. My son's a Crave fan.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so it should be.
Yeah, he's only one and a bit.
Yeah, that's good. You got to start them young, mate.
I do. They got no choice. They will accept my gift of music, whether they like it or not, and then they can thank me later. They
will probably be thanking you when they're older.
I thank my dad so much for giving me the gift of like showing me like heavy metal and really like, because I was always a music fan, but metal was what got me into like music as a whole, writing music and just wanting to do shows.
What was he listening to?
My old man was like writing to Metallica and stuff like that. He actually took me to the Offspring Americana tour. That was my first concert, and I saw that and I went, I'm sold. Like, I'm in love. Like rock and roll punk. Just it's loud, it's bone shaking, it's dark, it's everything where I want to be. I got lost in it, and I was done from there. I was just hooked. And it's the greatest gift I've ever been given. Aside life from my mother, my mum a beer buddy. Mum gave me life, but Dad gave me music.
Your dad gave you rock and roll.
Oh, gave me so much. And then he was bang guitarist too. I'm gonna have to drag him out. I'll drag him out next year.
You absolutely should.
He'll love it. We'll make it a family event.
Yeah.
We'll bring all the Beer Buddy family. It'll be hectic.
You better wind it up. You got work tomorrow, young man.
I know. Thanks, Mum. Thank you.
Karen, pulling
No,
out the
she's
mum
right.
technique,
She's
you're
right.
laying down the
The
law.
only reason why I'm up this late is because I may have snuck in a nap before the podcast.
Ah, nice.
You got to have a catch up sleep. So I've banked sleep. So I've
Yeah.
banked an hour, so I can go to bed an hour later.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
But yeah, no, we will get ready to wrap it up. So before we go, we're going to do the big Jimna plug. Tell us where we can get tickets. So what time? 2 days camping. Give us all that cool stuff.
Okay, well, we've got 8 a.m. gates open on Saturday. Music starts at 11 through to 11 p.m. Same again on Sunday, 11 till 11. You can get day passes for $70 on on Mosh-Tix. And the bands have got VIP tickets, and you're supporting the bands by buying these tickets. They are $50 off, so $100 you can get a ticket from the band. Just message them. Eventbrite have tickets. They have an Easter special going on Eventbrite for $130. But you mad, go to the bands, $100, can't lose. What else do I need to tell you about Jimna? There's great food there, so in 26 acts.
Yeah.
Be there.
30th of April till the 2nd of May.
Yeah, 2nd of May we kick you off. See you later. But
That's
yeah,
it. Come back next year.
back next year. That's it.
All right, Ari. All right, Karen. Thank you so much for tonight. You
Oh,
sneaky
thanks.
champions.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the time that you've taken here in the middle of the week to come and chat to me. I'm sure everyone else has too. Ivan, thank you so much for jumping in on the chat. And
Thanks, Ivan.
Razza O, you were in the chat earlier. Thank you very much. And MMK Promotions, you sneaky person that was chatting to me from behind, standing right behind Ari.
Right there.
I'm going to run this outro, and we're going to talk for 2 minutes, and then we'll go.
Beautiful.
Cheers.
Alrighty, champions. We're done for another Jimna special. Make sure you join me this Saturday. I've got the lads from Skunkbone on. Yeah, that's right. I got the boys from Skunkbone back for their Jimna special. So make sure you're there for that, because yeah, I'm gonna get a bit pickled on that one probably. All right, I'll see you then. 8 p.m. Be there. Be square. Take it easy, champions. Love yous.